You take the money that you were probably going to pay in taxes and you move it over to real estate, right? And then you get the tax benefits from being invested in the real estate. You already set yourself up for that. And you got to get your tax planner, your advisor, your tax strategist, be like, hey, how do I do this? I'm going to allocate X amount of money. I'm going to spend the rest of my money on my business, and we're going to go from here. But the leftover money, the 300,000 minus 100, the $100,000, you're going to do this for a family investment. You're going to invest through your whatever. You can set up a little trust, however you want to do that. Same thing. You're going to get 5% on your money. Let's say you got 5% on there. That's another 5K a year times 10 years. That's 50,000. That's 50,000. That's a 50,000. Again, that's almost 50% of your $100,000 back if you were to stay in this deal for 10 years. That's the benefit of this. That's not saying we're not going to continue to raise the rent on the vehicle that we're in, the businesses that we're in, because let's say we did that, you'd make another 25,000 on that deal. So that's 75% on your money right there. So you would have already made, what is that, 75,000 of the $100,000 for your family back over a 10-year period. That's not including the appreciation on your money. This is probably going to be a right tax free as well, or like I said, tax deferred, because you're not going to have to pay money on, because you're also getting the tax free benefits. So you got a million in play, you got 100,000 in play for your family while you're still running your business. And oh, by the way, you still got the, what did we say, 300,000 or the 200,000 for you and your family to continue to operate from. Like, if you just had a plan, this may be bullshit for you. I don't know. But if you were to be like, okay, look, we make $2 million, half of it's going to taxes. Let's allocate that money to an investment, get a return on real estate. And then the other money is going to continue to run our business, because 70% of your time, all of your time in your business, in your company that you're running, should be on marketing and sales. Those are the only two activities in your business that makes any money at all. Not administration, not organizing stuff, not putting on events, just like we do. That brings people in. But the 70% of your time to create a wealthy business is marketing and sales. Those are the only things that are income producing. The rest of it, the other 30% of your time, that's passed on to other people, products, services, deliveries, all these other things. You as an entrepreneur, the leader of your company, you need to be out there building. Now, all that money that you make out of the 70% of your time marketing and sales and your sales team and training your people and pushing them, that money gets invested. $1 million gets invested instead of pushing a tax, lower your tax bill to zero. And then the money that you make outside of the expenses of operating your business, you have your family money. Nobody really needs $400,000 a year to live off of. So you want to take that and you want to push that also into an investment. Now, reason why I say real estate is because you want to, I know like Wall Street and everybody's going to tell you guys to diversify. I personally say if you were to invest your money, let's say in a 200 unit apartment building, 300 unit apartment building, you want to invest your money into a portfolio of 1,000 units, 2,000 units. That is diversification, because it's the number of units is your diversification. That's why I said homes as a good investment in America is dead in this country. One house, one door, one tenant. That's like having a business that has one customer. You can't survive that way. You'd rather have the diversification of scale in one property or one location, which is real estate, multifamily apartments. All right. So this may be a little bit confusing. I was sharing them and I slowed it down and I was showing them like, hey guys, look, even if you were to have 100,000, let's just stick with this page. If let's say you were to invest 100,000 for your family, right? And you got 5%, we were to pay you 5% on your money because you invested in a great deal. We think the deal is going to do 5% for all of our investors. You came in as a limited partner and we manage the property, found the deal, fund the deal, manage the deal, send you a check every month. That year you'd probably make $5,000 on your money, right? And then over 10 years, you would make $50,000. That's half of your $100,000 back. And you did nothing. Running your business, taking care of your family, you're doing your thing. And then later, along this 10 years, we're constantly raising the income of the property by raising the rents, treating people good. The management company's doing a great job. And they're raising the rents by an additional. You're still getting this. This is an additional 5%. So you're getting additional, let's say 25,000. And instead of full 10 years, let's say we only did it for five. That 25,000 plus 50,000 give you 75,000. That's 75% of your $100,000 back just in cash flow. That's not depreciation. That's not the fact that the properties went up in value. And oh, by the way, and I'll go through that. Oh, so let's just say we got a deal. Um, and let's say we raise the rents by, let's just say this is a 200 unit deal. And let's say for this purpose, because we were looking at a deal yesterday, let's say we bought a deal for, I don't know, let's say we bought a 200 unit deal. We raised the rents by, let's say in over the course of 10 years, we raised the rents by, I don't know. I think rents are going to double, but let's just say we raise the rents in a great location by $800. Do you guys think that in a great location in San Diego County or Irvine or LA County, LA County it's going to raise anyways, right? Because rent controls always raise rents, right? So, but let's just say if the rents were to go up on a 200 unit apartment building in a great location, a minimum of $800 over the next 10 years times 200 units. That's an additional 160,000 a year over and above what it's already doing. Times 12 months because we do everything annualized. That would mean that in that year we created an additional almost $2 million on that same 200 unit property just by raising the rents $800. And we're talking $800 is what? $200 a week in a month. That's nothing.